Panharmonicon presents a podcast.
At 0300 this morning, TDRS picked up an automated navigation beacon broadcasting at 2-minute intervals in Neptune orbit.
This is incredible. It's the Event Horizon. She's come back.
Event Horizon is the culmination of a secret government project to create a spacecraft capable of faster-than-light flight.
Coming at you fresh with a new episode of Panharmonicon Studios presents
Podcast, mate.
a podcast. Yeah, I'm one of your hosts, Farron.
Yeah, I'm one of your hosts, Damon.
It's your road man, Andrew.
And we're here to talk about movies. If you've not been here before and this is your first time, first we want to say thank you for joining us. And what we do here, we talk about movies.
Movies, bruv.
All the good ones, all the bad ones.
Oh, so this is one of your first times? We don't actually speak like that.
We
That's not
don't.
our accents.
We're not.
That'd be crazy if you just like, damn, this is the first time listening. And you're like, oh, I know these dudes are something.
Do you feel that like podcasts with British voices do better? Like people just like a soothing tone of.
I don't think I listen
Probably.
to any like podcast with like British voices.
I guess
should
it's
start.
Yeah, maybe we should just pretend. Let's just see how it goes. Okay.
I don't think I can hold a whole.
No, absolutely not.
Whole podcast.
Absolutely not. But yeah, again, if this is your first time joining us, we talk about movies here, and we yap. So I hope you enjoy both of those things. I hope you guys enjoy us as well. Also, getting down to business, please, if you are enjoying what you're hearing, what you're listening to, and eventually what you're seeing, please be sure to give us a like. Also, share with your friends so that you guys can talk about these guys, and these guys can then...
You got it?
Yeah, subscribe.
Yep, still works.
As well.
Yeah.
A little aneurysm. And make sure you turn on notifications so that you guys know when we are dropping the new products, new items. And, oh, yeah, I guess I shouldn't say products. We're not at t-shirts yet.
Content. It's a product.
But yeah, again, glad you guys could be here. So how you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
I don't think too much happened while we were away. Started Borderlands.
Ooh,
Borderlands
yes,
with you.
Yes.
Borderlands has been pretty fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It has been fun.
Okay.
It has been fun. How have you, did you get a chance to play last night?
No, I was working, but I did play with the guys a couple of nights ago.
Okay. Nice. So you said something about you weren't... Okay, so, sorry. In that chat, you had mentioned that you weren't at the point yet where that character had you already beaten the game, or had you just started another game with another character and you were trying
So
out different...
when we first started, I started two characters. One that I was going to play with you guys, and then just another one that I was going to play solo.
Smart.
Okay.
So I was playing solo, and they didn't tell me. They just jumped in. So...
Like Matt and I
I just jumped in. Yeah. So I was like, well, I'm like still trying to do all the like side missions and stuff before like jumping into like basically the second mission that you needed to do, which would give you the vehicle to get around in. And so I guess they didn't realize, and they were just like, why can't I like summon the vehicle that we had like just that last night? And I was like, yeah, this is my other character.
Nice.
Sorry, guys.
Nice. What about you, homie?
Been all right. I've been playing Hollow Knight. That's been my thing.
Hollow Knight. Silksong or just Hollow Knight?
Just Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight.
To prepare for Silksong, but I've been told that it's not Hollow Knight 2. It is its own game. So I guess I didn't need to do this, but it's a game I've had for a while, and I got really confused at the start, and then I just kind of gave up because I was like, this map is bullshit, which it is, but once you just understand the game, which I didn't give myself time to do before I just dropped it. But
Metroidvanias can be like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't... I think one of the things about Metroidvanias is like sometimes you run into too many things that you can't deal with yet.
Yep.
But you want to be able to, you want to, like, I want to be able to get up there. I see that thing I want. And then you're like, nope, you gotta you got like 3 hours of gameplay before
Exactly.
you get the things that you need to be able to go all the way back to those sparkly things you saw at the beginning. And it's like, that can be very demotivating because you're just like, I want it now.
You're right. And it's always because there's only so many map markers they give you too. You get like 6, I think, of like 4 different colors
to indicate of like what.
Yeah. And then so it's like it's just a system you have to make up for yourself. So me being a goldfish brain, I'm like, all right, is the silver ones bad? I know the gold ones are good. I got that one.
Yeah.
Like, what did I use the red ones for?
It's almost
So
like you feel like you gotta keep a notebook or
truly,
something like yourself just to keep
yes.
track of it, how you're using the legend.
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't indicate on the legend what you should use it for. It's kind of up to you how to.
It's just like, here's some. I think it might tell you like I think it just says like, here are these things that you can use to mark your map. So it's just, but yeah, it's a very good game. I taken a few days off just because I was like truly just playing it like a lot. So I was like, well, let me try to chill out. But I'm glad to hear that Borderlands 4 is good because I was very worried. I am a diehard Borderlands guy. But Borderlands 3, yes, dude. Borderlands 1, oh, what a game. But Borderlands 3, like that one, it was such a good at the start, but then they just like started to like nerf everything that was like really fun about the game.
Oh, like post-release with all the like subsequent updates.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, because I was running Moz, I guess, just one of the characters, and like had to build specifically like there was like, oh, this is the best one. So I'm like, all right, let me grind all these like grenade mods and stuff, and then it's like a week later they're like, no, we're nerfing that. So it's like, oh, okay.
Nice. Like, okay, like
love that for me.
That's I love how that works out for us.
Yeah. So I was like, well, there goes all that time I'll never get back. But that's awesome. I'm very excited. I don't think my PC can run it, so I might have to do some shmup upgrades before I join you in Pandora, I guess. I don't know if they're still there.
No, they're not in
Where are we?
Pandora.
Whoa.
Kairos?
yes, that's what. Okay.
Sounds Greek.
Yeah.
I guess, Pandora is also Greek.
Yeah.
Anyway. Very cool. Very exciting.
Awesome, dude. I love me a Metroidvania game, dude.
Yeah.
I really love Metroidvania. Like, Blasphemous is one that over the past few years has been really fun. I played the first one a few years ago, and I got the second one this year. I recently beat Chronos New Dawn.
That's good.
Which was... It's one of those games. So that one's from Bloober Team, so the same team that did Silent Hill 2 remake, which I really enjoyed, and so I was excited, like jumping into this one. Admittedly, I think when I saw the first trailer, I wasn't like too psyched about it. I was like, I liked Silent Hill 2 remake, so I'll check this out. But the more I played it, I was like, wow, it's so much more than what I thought it was going to be, which is a good thing. But at a certain point, I did kind of feel like the scares started to get a little cheap. Because it's one of those things where, so one of the YouTubers I watch, like my favorite gamers, is Hollow, and or Hollow Point. I think he shortens it to Hollow, but he does a lot of horror games, and there are some horror games that he plays where, and what I mean by cheap scare is like you're just walking down a hallway. And there's no kind of indication that anything's about to happen, but then all of a sudden the screen changes. There's like a super loud noise, and then this entity comes out of nowhere and is like shaking you, like where there was no lead in. It's not like I'm playing Resident Evil. I'm walking down a hallway. This door is like flapping open, so it kind of gets you a little bit like
on edge,
defensive, on edge for it, and it just comes out of nowhere. And then this game did that kind of a lot because the way that it works is like you're this character from the future and you're traveling back and forth between time, and you can come across fallen versions of yourself, which are essentially like soldiers that had died before. And every time one of these soldiers die or these travelers die, they send another person in their place to continue on that work, and they just kind of operate that way. And you can find these things on those people called like phylacteries, which are basically like the essences of other characters that you learn about in the game, and they give you certain perks, but they also make you slightly more unhinged based off the personality of the essence that you picked up.
That's cool.
So like I'll pick up one that's a kid, and so like when you have these sort of hallucinations, it'll be that kid or his mom and things like that. And it gets kind of complicated because you can only have 3.
Oh, okay.
But you can literally only carry 3. So if you come across one that you want to pick up, you have to delete one permanently that you already have to replace it with something else.
Brutal.
Which, yeah, dude, and that sucks. You're sitting there having this like crisis of what am I willing to give away for the rest of the game?
For sure.
But then there are these points where, like, as you're starting to lose it, that, like, I'll walk through a door, and then all of a sudden there'll be like this loud noise, and then this image will pop up on my screen, and I would yell at the top of my lungs, dude, feeling like so stupid, or shaking in my chair, and I would just find myself like cussing at the TV.
Yeah.
You stupid motherfucker! Why would you do that?
Come on, game. Be better than this.
Stop doing that, man. Be a man. Do better scares. Come on, asshole. But really, it's just me being mad that I was so scared.
Yeah, just got startled.
But yeah, it was fun. It
Nice.
was a fun experience. That's done, and getting ready for Silent Hill F.
Ooh.
It comes out here.
F
very
is for
soon,
friends.
actually. Who do things together. Yeah, U is for you and me.
Nice.
And it's
I
for
don't think
anywhere,
that's
anytime
what-
at all.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what that's gonna be like.
Oh, it's not. Dude, that game's about to be terrifying.
Ooh.
That should be fun though.
Speaking
But
of
the F is for
terrifying,
fun. But before we get to that,
Ooh.
I got a new thing I want to add,
Okay.
and I want you boys to put your thinking caps on here.
All right.
So, I stumbled upon a subreddit. Subreddit is explaining movie plots poorly. And so, I'm going to give you a plot explained poorly. I want you to see if you can figure out what the movie is.
Okay.
Okay.
And this one, in this movie, a kid named Peter loses his father figure and lives with his aunt. He takes on a new identity and he fights bullies and criminals. What is this movie?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Nope.
No?
It is not Spider-Man.
What?
Peter?
He loses his father figure. His name is Peter. And he fights Peter Pan?
Not Peter Pan.
Well, that wouldn't work. Hold on now.
Okay,
As soon as
maybe.
you... Yeah, well, that's what kind of... But I
What Peter? Cottontail?
feel stupid. 'cause
Family
before
Guy?
you finished this, I was like, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's so easy. Like, all right, dude. Thank you for the
What?
for the easy lob.
I'll give you a hint.
I was about to say,
Okay.
please,
Yes.
can we phone a friend?
It is an 80s movie.
Oh, Lord.
The Never-Ending Story?
No.
How famous is this movie? Is it well regarded?
I wouldn't say it's well regarded.
Okay. Sleeper pick.
But it's one where likely we have seen it.
It's a
Or
good
you
question.
don't. Yeah.
It's a
You-
good
but you-
question.
Okay. Peter.
But it is along. It is not. It is within the genre of the movie that we are going over today.
Oh, okay. So horror,
What?
horror, sci-fi, Peter, 80s.
I would take the sci-fi part out of it.
Okay, horror.
The Fred Savage. The with Howie Mandel. The movie with the things under his bed.
Oh no, that's not
okay.
it.
Which I never said a name, I guess, so I couldn't.
I had to think for a second. I was like, "Oh, okay. I know what movie you were going for, but that is not. That's not. The movie.
Dude, this is hurt. This hurts.
You may have never seen the movie.
Okay, I don't want to do this, but I think I have to throw in the towel.
I was about to say, I don't think
It's
I'm going
okay.
to get it.
I chose that
You chose the hard
specifically
one?
because of the way it sounded.
Yeah,
coming out.
I figured. I was like, yeah.
It is the 1983 slasher film Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, yeah, I would have never. Sleepaway Camp.
Sleepaway Camp is Spider-Man?
Wow. Okay.
So now
All
I'm
right.
trying to how to badly explain this movie.
Speaking of which, did I just want to throw out there real quick before we get into it? This is Spooky Month. At the time that we're recording this, we're not there yet, but at the time of its release, we will have officially entered Spooky Month. So you guys can expect a slew of horror movie reviews there for the month of October.
Yeah.
Correct.
Insert the thunder clap and witches laugh.
Where are we at? I gotta make a note of this timestamp so I can put a little thunderclap sound effect.
Maybe put some
Maybe
spooky,
1433.
scary skeletons.
But the movie,
Yeah. I don't know if you could really badly explain this movie.
Yeah, I
just
was
simply
trying to-
because of how simple the movie actually really is.
Yeah, I was just like, anyway, you say it, it's just kind of what is happening.
Yeah. It is 1997's sci-fi horror thriller Event Horizon, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, of all people.
Yeah. Which, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Like I said, it came out in August of 1997. Budget of $60 million. Only had a box office of $42 million. It is considered a flop. Pretty much, it is a cult classic. It did very well in the home office, or the home box office, I should say, market, not the home office market. That'd be crazy. Everybody got their VHS copies of Event Horizon in their office. Yeah, 37% critic.
Oof.
And 62% audience. So that gives you kind of an understanding of why it didn't do so well. I would say movies that came out around this time, but actually I think I did those for, I guess the movie isn't out yet, but Fifth Element, which came out the same year, like roughly nearly the same time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Stars Lawrence Fishburne. Great one. Stars Sam Neill. And before we get into this movie, I want to say that if you know me, I am dumb. I will not know things. And I think it's okay not to know things.
It's okay not to know things, man, but it's not okay to call yourself dumb.
I can be dumb sometimes. And I didn't know Sam Neill was from New Zealand.
Oh.
I was
Dr.
like,
Grant? The Mr.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jurassic
okay.
Park. Yeah. Is that
Talk about putting a... Yeah, Jurassic Park. Talk about putting on an accent, I guess.
Yeah.
Or, wow.
Because I've seen Event Horizon before, and I've like always wondered why he had that like that accent that he was using in the movie. And I was like, that's so weird, because it's very hard for me to really like look at Sam Neill and not think Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Dr. Grant, whenever I just see him like out and about, especially like during this time, because it's only like what a few years removed from the Jurassic Park movies, and so like I was like, oh, what is he doing that for? And I was like, I finally was like, okay, let me look up Sam Neill. I was like, New Zealand. I was like, yeah, he's from New Zealand.
That's interesting because honestly, I always like I didn't know specifically New Zealand, but I knew he was an American. Like I knew he was, because I feel like when you in Jurassic Park, it doesn't really sound like he's trying very hard to adopt an American accent. So I was like, oh, I don't think he's from here, but I would have thought like UK or something. Like I wouldn't have.
I was thinking UK too, and I was like, man, another one?
Yeah.
And it turned out he's from New Zealand.
Another one.
And I was like, yeah, you know.
But have you ever seen Hunt for the Wilder People?
No.
It's a movie that came out like in the 2010s. One of the actors from Deadpool 2, the kid with the fire abilities that he's trying to save throughout the movie, I think he kind of like found his fame from that movie, and that has Sam Neill in it. It takes place in New Zealand. Really good movie, by the way. Definitely recommend checking that out. But
Add it to the list.
add it to the list.
Put that one on the list.
I will, go ahead.
Just a super quick synopsis. Essentially, shit be happening in space, yo.
And there it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to call them astronauts because they're not astronauts, but a group of military space travelers are sent out on a mission to recover what I want to say is a generation life ship known as Event Horizon, which got itself out to Neptune and then disappeared. Event Horizon was created by Dr. Weir, who is Sam Neill, and he is wondering what happened himself. So him, Lawrence Fishburne, and this crew of ragtag sci-fi tropes all head themselves out to Neptune. I should say that it's 2040 and space travel is a thing. It's not hard to just get out in space now.
Well, to be fair, it's 2045. So.
2045, I'm sorry.
2040. In 1997.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the key.
Yes. And so they get out there and they discover that things are not as they should be. They find Event Horizon and it's back in space, well, I guess in Neptune's orbit, and crew's gone. They cannot find the crew, and soon scary, spooky things start happening to everyone, and like I said, shit be happening in space. But we'll go over those things that be happening in space. Andrew, you wanted to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, in the terms of not knowing things, did not even clock an accent. Would have just said that guy is American. Truly, like I don't know. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what I missed, how I missed it, but I was like, oh wow, learned something new today.
Well.
I think it's just because he was speaking differently than he did in Jurassic Park for me, and I was just like, man, that's weird. Especially because he's, for the most part, speaking differently than everybody else that was on board.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And I guess you could have chalked that up to like, well, he's a scientist, and they're all like,
they all talk like that.
a bunch of military guys and gals. But so, what did you guys think about this movie? I don't know if it was your first time seeing it or if you had seen it before.
First time.
Mine as well.
Very first
yeah.
time seeing it, which is, it's one of those movies where I remember growing up and like seeing the marketing for it, like posters and things like that, but I never knew what it was about. And I don't think I really even found out like even slightly what it was about until a few years ago. I think I saw like a meme or something about it. Not like poking fun at it, but it was just kind of like a quick little glimpse of what the movie was about. And I was like, oh, I had no idea. Because it definitely gives me like Clive Barker, like Hellraiser type vibes. Which is like very hellish, torture, like body horror type. Yeah. Which is always so terrifying. And it's something I noticed, and I wanted to ask you about this, because when we were having the conversation about like, oh, like what movies you want to watch, and you said Cube, and you said you also threw out Event Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a phobia of tight spaces?
I actually don't.
Okay.
And it's so funny that you brought that up, because in my notes for this movie, one of the things I said was that I think that space, and particularly early space travel, is a perfect backdrop for horror movies, because of the fact that it seems like it's this vast space.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not like we can just instantly travel anywhere.
Right.
So you're really stuck in these like slow moving, just like basically like coffins. And there are all these tight spaces that make the tension rise. Like when you look at something like Aliens, like the alien basically is able to do what it wants to these people at will because they can't get away.
Yeah.
And in Event Horizon, it's the same way. Like ultimately, these people want to be able to get away. The ship does not want them to get away. And eventually the ship is like, okay, well, I've been trying to scare you enough, but you think you can get away, so I'm going to try to make it so that you just cannot get away. And I think that, as well as just like, I think water. I think there are two areas that could do horror exceptionally well, and I think in both cases we don't do them enough. I think whenever people think of space, they think of it as this like black backdrop for like adventure. And like space travels and space drama and stuff, and I don't think we do enough about like the water.
Yeah,
like Jaws is a perfect example of how you can do water. Like you're on a boat, and there's a thing that's in the water that it can move wherever it wants to, however it wants to, but you are stuck in a boat.
Yeah,
and unless you can get yourself back to shore where you have the advantage, you're at its mercy.
Yeah, no, that's definitely terrifying.
And when it came to the Cube, for me, and I think maybe it's both of these movies are movies that I came across like early.
Like in your life?
Yeah, early in my life.
Yeah.
And as a result, they imprinted on me in a way that like modern horror movies don't as much, because I'm at a point now where like I can just kind of tank a horror movie. But like I didn't watch Event Horizon as soon as it came out. I think I was like maybe 10 or 11, and it just happened to be.
Well, I mean, you would have been 10 when it came out, though.
I'm sorry, I meant I was like 12, 13, like 12. I think I was 12. 1999 is when I believe I saw it. I think I saw it on like Showtime or HBO or something like that. And nope, as a kid, no.
Oh, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
As an adult that just watched this like the other day, I was just chilling. I was eating food. I was just like, crazy.
Got a nice tender steak dinner, cutting up, dipping in A1 steak sauce while he's watching. Because there were parts of that movie. It's interesting because the movie's only like an hour and a half, so it's not long, but it does kind of feel like it takes a while before it gets to like the very like hellish sort of depictions of what was happening, especially with the crew that was there. Because there's that video, and it looks like there was like, there was like sexual assault happening. Like there's this giant orgy while people were getting tortured, like eyeballs getting pulled out.
Some dude had his hand inside, like fully inside another guy's mouth, like yanking his tongue out.
Dude, like
hands inside of bodies, just like ripping out organs.
I'm like, oh my god, dude! It made him like. So I know you say that like as an adult, you can watch it and tank it, and I definitely feel you there. Like it's easier to, I think, kind of absorb it without it having as much of an effect. But it still kind of made me queasy just kind of watching that like vicious, visceral, just torturous orgy that was literally happening in that video. And it also just makes me, I did find it hilarious that like only after they made it out to Neptune and they got out of those like stasis pods that Dr. Weir pulls out this recording that's like, we got this. And then it's this horrible scream. And I'm like, dude, you should have
led with that.
Yeah.
Like,
before we left.
Back on low Earth orbit, you'd have been like, all right, you need to hear this.
Yeah. I would have not. Nah, you find somebody else, dude. I'm not doing it. What about you? How are you feeling about it?
I really enjoyed it. It was my first watch. I will say there was a point that it kind of lost me a little bit. But I was very hooked, very like, ooh, like this is like, it did such a good job of like building the tension and being like, ooh, like what's going on? Like, oh, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
But I guess just to skip to it, like when Dr. Weir like had that like thermal gun, I guess. And like he was it was the standoff between him and Captain Miller. Yeah, and then like Cooper Cooper's, just hits and then he just shoots. I'm like, why would you shoot? Like why would he as a person shoot into like to break the glass into space? Or why would the ship have it? I was like, that's so dumb. Like I guess it was just maybe the reaction of like,
I would say it was a reaction because he didn't have his eyes. So it is possible that he thought that Captain Miller
like had moved. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
And then like when he shot and like he heard that, but then he heard Miller in front of him start moving. That was when he decided to like turn the gun back. But Lawrence had already done a jump over like a table.
Yeah, that would be so weird though, because it's like the confidence with which he said, because Miller said something to the effect of, "Well, if you miss, then like
you hit the hole."
And he's like, "Well, what makes you think you're going to miss?" And so I kind of when I said that, in my eyes or like in my ears, in my mind, whatever, I took it as like he must be able to see somehow. That's what without I thought, that, his like, eyes.
The ship was like guiding him.
Yes,
or,
because I'm like, that's a bold comment to make for a dude with no eyes. Like how do you know I'll miss? Because you don't have the things that you need to not miss.
He's also an evil entity.
Yeah.
Like,
but like it's one of those things where like that's why I'm thinking to myself like, okay, you had to have, you somehow transcended the need for sight. I guess is kind of like where my mind went.
Right.
But there definitely were things that happened in the movie is like as it happens in any horror movie that makes you question like, why did you do this? Why was this your choice?
Sure.
Like I wouldn't have done this. And there was something in particular that happened in this movie. I forget, like in this exact moment where I was like, well, why would you have done that? But there was also kind of going off on a tangent here, but do you guys ever do something with horror movies where as soon as you get the whole field of characters that are going to be in this movie that you start kind of making bets to yourself of who
dies first?
Yeah. Like who that list is going to be. Because I got to tell you, I didn't expect it to be those two. Like I did in the movie. I didn't. Like I figured Justin, the engineer, because they kept calling him Babyface. They kept like Baby Bear and Mama Bear, which is kind of like a really unprofessional name to have for somebody that you work with. But I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna get it quick. Which technically,
I mean, he did, but then he also didn't.
Yeah.
And then I guess he really did.
But then he also didn't, though, right?
Yeah, because he ended up in the pod.
He
like the water couch or whatever the heck they called it. Because I thought it was like he would survive, like he had sustained so many injuries. They're like the only way to keep him alive is if we put him in this
Yeah, but then the
stasis
ship
pod.
exploded.
That is true. But
But
when they got found, though,
Yeah, I thought it was the.
But he
three
wasn't
of them.
in that life ship. He was in the.
the life ship for the other
Yeah.
one they came in on.
Mhm.
Okay.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Because I guess that also threw me off because at the very end of the movie when they have that little red herring ending, I guess I don't even know what's happening with them, but they said 3 people survived, right? Like they mentioned that it was Stark, Cooper.
Oh, actually, I think
they-
Justin does survive.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he is.
So they
in
must
the,
have put him on the Event
yeah,
Horizon.
yeah, he
then?
was on the Event Horizon.
That's so interesting.
because that's where he like sustained all of his injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
So I figured because they were working on.
Honestly, man, he
Lewis and Clark.
like I'd have just died.
Yeah.
Dude, I would have peed my pants so many times.
I'd have been like, just let me die, though.
Yeah, truly.
You know,
like,
and I honestly I didn't on that topic I didn't understand that rescue scene. I think that's one of the things. Sorry that I was
you're good.
like referenced just a couple minutes ago that I forgot about, but I didn't understand the rescue scene with Justin because you have Lawrence Fish, you have Miller on the outside of the ship,
Mhm.
and he's trying to get to the outside of that hole. Then you have Stark and it may have been like DJ or something trying to unlock the door from inside the ship.
Mhm.
And so he presses the button, decompresses. He starts, I guess, turning inside out. Eyes pop open and whatnot. For that hole to open, Lawrence Fishburne to catapult himself towards him to only jettison him through the door that they had just opened. Like, why did Miller have to do any of that? Like, why couldn't they have just waited until? Is it because that he would have had no way to kind of like
yeah,
push himself
like the
through
instant
the
that
door?
the outside door opened, he would have been out, and there would have been no getting him back.
because he wasn't tethered to anything. Like
Yeah.
the ship had, I'm assuming, like taken control of him, put him in this position, and then like relinquished its control to be like, haha.
Okay, so because he would have had nothing to grip onto to pull himself.
He would have been
towards
sucked
it
out into
once the
space.
door. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
And that's, I think, probably why he was like, expend all the like air in your lungs,
Yeah.
so like he doesn't
Like
turn
his
into
lungs don't
more
just like
pudding,
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, dude, that.
meat sauce.
To your point, though, man,
Like,
just let me float out.
Yeah,
let me do-
truly. Like,
I'm not.
Like all of the severe stuff already happened.
Yeah,
Just let me go
Truly.
because
yeah.
I'm not about to be like organless and like eyeless.
Yeah.
unless in addition to space travel, we also got really good at like
regrowing.
Yeah, that was going to be the other thing I was thinking about. Was like maybe it's because it's always funny. Like, and I think we covered this a little while ago, or we talked about this a little while ago. Just how, like, when you look at movies back in the day that tried to depict the future, like how close they were in some regards and how far away they were in others. And this is one of those where they legitimately thought. I shouldn't say legitimately thought. At the end of the day, it's a fictional movie, but 50 years from now, we're going to be able to like travel to Neptune and we'll have all these things. We're building this gate that passes through hell. Although I'm assuming they didn't know that it passes through hell eventually, like initially when they made it. But yeah, to go back though, I definitely, as soon as the movie started, it was like, you first, you second. I didn't think anyone was going to survive.
Yeah, I was also shocked that there was.
I mean, it takes a
survivors.
very long time before the movie finally lets you know that they're gonna even be survivors.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like people are just constantly dying.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there are like so many red herrings. Like Coop dies like 3 times and it just magically
Yeah.
appears back, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, I guess he didn't die that time.
Well, as I'm thinking about it, it feels like it was a long time before anyone on the crew even died.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, there was Justin, and he got really close to it, but then
Yeah.
they saved him. But then after they save him, it's a while until any one of them dies, and I think I forget her name, the woman with the kids back home who's kind of getting distracted by them, is the first one. I'm like, it felt like it was only like 20 minutes of movie left at that point.
Yeah, kind of, because
They started dropping off like flies.
Yeah,
Right.
just like
Very
bang,
quickly.
bang, bang, which is, I don't know if this makes me a bad person, dude, but I don't know. If I had a kid and I knew I'm like on a spaceship light years away,
Yeah, like
I'm not getting fooled by.
that's the thing. I was just like, is it so much of like the possession? Because I guess that they never really like, because they just kept calling it hallucinations and stuff, and it's like, at least with Dr. Weir, it seems like the ship had kind of taken him as a vessel.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, is that? And then I guess kind of the same with Justin to like, a certain extent.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know if that was like her, like accepting or not accepting, but just like
being
that,
controlled by that.
yeah,
that,
and
like
then
yeah.
her falling. But yeah, it was the same thing of just like, also, a wheelchair-bound child. Like, why? Like, he's not going to be running or...
And just like standing in
space.
front of you and doing those, like, like, why is he even?
You
can't
can't have a stowaway through a whole.
I didn't know my kid was trained for space travel. Like, that would have never. I would have just. I would have saw that and turned around and just kept walking, dude.
I would have started running. I would have been like, "Oh, that's bad." Like, let's get these CO2 scrubbers out of here, folks.
There's also that. And hopefully, she just doesn't fall through that hole because, man, that fall messed her up.
Oof. That fall messed
Jesus,
her. And I gotta say, there's just one thing that just actually did like upset me, and I don't think I even noticed it when I watched it as a kid, but I did notice it now. No one dies because of the spikes in that room.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. It's just like
that corridor that leads into the
meat grinder that they literally, but like in the room,
inside the room with the engine. There's so many spikes,
5 feet
and
long
they
spikes.
like use it. They use them as red herrings like twice.
Yeah,
and then it's almost like they forget themselves that they exist.
Yeah,
because like you would think when she fell through that hole, I was like, oh, she's about to fall right into those spikes, Mortal Kombat style.
Exactly.
And she said, nope, smash into the grate. That'll kill me.
Into the blood water, whatever it was.
Dude, her legs were toast. Like
everything was toast.
Everything was toast. Because it was how her uniform had opened up around her legs and how they were twisted, and that it basically opened up this huge wound right down the middle, like above the femur. And I was like,
it didn't help that she like plinkled her way down there off of every single thing that she could find
out of everything that just kind of. But there's one of the things I really love about horror movies is like it tends to be like this investigation for me sometimes of just what are things that they're putting in this movie to give us hints of what people's backstories are.
Yeah.
Which is also something I just always find so fun because even when we're first introduced to Weir and, you know, he gets out of bed and he has that almost like that shrine to his wife. Because I think initially you might think to yourself, and I was thinking this is like, oh, he like really loves his wife and his wife's alive back home. He can't wait to get back. Mm-hmm. But then the more the story went on and the more hallucinations that he had about her and the missing eyes, which I still don't understand that part of like, why does she always have missing eyes in those hallucinations?
I think that must tie into like whatever the being is.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, he removed his eyes.
Yeah.
But also the dude that ultimately says Libertate Tutume also had his eyes. Like he was holding his eyes in his hands.
Yeah.
And he's just like pointing them at the camera like, get these Libertate Tutume.
It's so when that happens, I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking maybe she's not alive. So I was like, something, because also the number of pictures, as the more I thought about it, I was like, that's kind of a little egregious. Yeah, exactly. I was like, that seems like it's like dedicated to her, like she's not no longer there. So then once it's revealed that she'd committed suicide, I was like, yeah. And it's not to say that like, oh, I'm glad that she did, so much as it's always kind of like fun to me to be able to see like, okay, so I was on the right track in that observation of everything they're putting in there. Because again, like with making these movies, there's so much opportunity and time for them to like structure these shots. It's like, well, why are they doing it this way? Like, why are they having this person say this thing this way? And also, speaking on the way people are saying things in the movie, the guy who plays Cooper, it made me feel like they wanted Denzel Washington in that movie, and they couldn't get him alongside Lawrence Fishburne.
That's fair.
I mean, that'd be a hefty.
Oh, yeah.
That'd have been $100 million movie instead of a $60 million movie.
Like, because the way he talked, his cadence was very... Yeah. But it's one of those things where, like, that actor in particular, I don't know... Like, I know I've seen him before, but I couldn't tell you every thing I've seen him in. Mm-hmm. And it made me start to wonder, like, the chicken or the egg type thing is like, was he around before? Like, I don't think he was. I'm pretty sure Denzel Washington sort of was definitely before him, and I'm just trying to figure out whether or not he was like intentionally trying to mimic Denzel Washington, or if that's just his acting style, that how he talks, his cadence, and if they're just naturally that similar.
Could be column A, a little bit of column B. Hard to tell.
Yeah.
I will say that I just kind of felt like he was more just like I think they, and I do hate to bring race into it, but I think they just kind of allowed Lawrence Fishburne to be like the stoic, just like leader, and as a result, Cooper came across as the more like like the black guy of the team.
Yeah.
Right, like he's like he kind of really got to be off on his own a lot in the movie. But whenever they were kind of like he was there, it was a lot of you just know.
Like through the comms, like Cooper, how's the ship?
Oh, I'm getting it going, man. Like,
oh, I'm so good.
Yeah, like there's a whole bunch of that, and I was like, you know, I mean, that's just everyone's got their little like trope and pastiche in this movie, so I'm just gonna like allow that to be a thing. Plus, he survived, which doesn't happen very often for black people in movies.
Yeah, dude, I was honestly I was gonna be even more shocked because up until a certain point, I was like, are they going to have 2 black people survive this movie? My goodness.
Unprecedented numbers.
Yes, dude. I was like, Paul W.S. Anderson. I underestimated you.
Nope.
And then, nope, yeah. That did not
heroic
happen.
Sacrifice, I guess.
Yeah, very heroic sacrifice. Which is also alluded to with the story that he has about
not
his
leaving,
teammate. Yeah, exactly. I did think it was funny, and I wish I could be that stoic in that situation that Coop found himself in. But if I'm like,
I give up.
Yeah,
I'm like, there.
100%.
Like, how did he? That's a question I have for you guys. Yeah. But when he's like being jettisoned off, like how, like, because the ship seemed to be in like this thunderstorm, like thunderhead this whole time. Mm-hmm. So how did he know? Like, oh, there's the ship. Like I can see it.
When he was flipping and then he let himself go, and I was just like, "Where's the ship?"
Yeah,
because he looked like he was just going. I was like,
"Yeah, dude, yeah." He was like flying towards the planet, and he was like, "I'm coming back."
Like, how?
I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that was miraculous.
Yeah, dude, that would be terrifying. That would be terrifying. I've never seen this movie, and it kind of makes me want to go see this movie finally. But the movie Gravity, I think with Sandra Bullock, because that's
very similar scene.
Yeah, like just floating away out into nothingness. Yeah, dude. But his demeanor in that scene, I thought was just hilarious because it made me think more about like had to be kind of like that token black guy in the film.
Yeah,
just what he said and how he reacted. Like, why is this always got to happen to me? Like, dude,
can't a brother catch a break?
Yeah,
it's crazy that he did all that and then essentially like showed that he was also like an aeronautical engineer.
Yeah.
It's just like, yep, I got the calculation down.
Yeah, he's like, oh, all I gotta do is I gotta jet my oxygen and I'm good.
And then got himself there.
Yeah.
Somehow didn't get shot with the harpoon, but broke away with the glass. I assumed he had already used all his oxygen, but somehow got himself around the side of
that's true.
Massive ship. The Event Horizon is like
huge.
the Empire State Building on its side flying in space.
Yeah.
That thing is gigantic. And he got himself around to the other airlock and got in. And
I mean, dude, the fact that he was even able of that massive ship to even come back, land himself perfectly at the cockpit of the ship,
tiny window.
Yeah,
it's like when you see it on the front of the ship, it's just like so small.
It's like that the ventilation shaft in the Death Star. Dude.
Yeah,
like he somehow managed
with his body to get in that.
Dude, that was wild. But yeah, it's one of those things. I'm like, I wish I could be that stoic. But again, did not see him making it.
When you think about it, though, him and Stark kind of have like the fewest like flashback sequences, almost as if like saying that like the two of them did not have as dark a past as everybody else did.
Yeah,
for the ship to prey on or whatever.
Yeah, because it really was like the ship
good.
wasn't messing with them as like nearly as much as it was messing with everybody else.
Yeah. But sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, but I think it maybe helped at least with Cooper because he was like you were saying, he was just outside the whole time. Like he was just working on the Lewis and Clark until it exploded,
putting it back together with duct tape and foam.
Yeah,
I was like,
truly.
that allows a ship to
Dude,
insulation foam and a little bit of welding.
That movie, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
It is crazy, and it's just terrifying also to think about. And I know, again, fictional movie, and it's just wildly out there in its story, but just I can't help but to always think in those situations, like, what if I was in that situation? Like, what would that look like? How would I survive that? Would I have the mental fortitude to be able to just kind of like keep pushing and pushing? Because Dude, it's one thing to be stalked by a killer. It's a totally different thing, I think, to have this sort of disembodied entity that is a representation or is just like a fraction of what hell could be. Mm-hmm. And you've seen video of what the previous crew went through, and you're like, that's what's in store for me. Somebody reaching in with their whole hand into my mouth, which would have to like also be ripping my jaw open at the same time to pull my tongue out. And that's just the start of your night. Dude, that's before the charcuterie board got dropped.
That's the amuse-bouche.
Yeah, dude, like, and then the next thing you know, like, now you're about to be sodomized, wrapped up in barbed wire. Yeah, dude, like, what happened to DJ? Check, please.
Yeah, I don't think I could. I think I've already said, like, like a zombie apocalypse, I'm out.
Yep.
But so for you, it doesn't depend on what kind of zombie apocalypse that we're
If it's slow moving zombies, I can formulate a plan. If it's like dashers, I'm done. If it's World War Z zombies, count me out. Yeah. I might just take myself out because I'm good. But like, I guess the concept has to be like a glimmer of hope, right? Mm-hmm. The belief that there is some way out of it. Yeah. Because that's, I think, what helped them was you had somebody like Miller who just was constantly formulating concepts of getting away.
Yeah, like this little step we have to do, like just you do this, you do this, you do this.
And then we can get ourselves out. And I think that like helped all of them like kind of keep themselves like mentally there because the ship really was messing with their like mental state. And the only person who didn't was obviously Weir, who I think he just got too far in, like grabbed in, and as a result kind of became like the hidden mole for a second there, and then finally just unfortunately they should have just kept an eye on him, and they didn't keep an eye on him, which caused a lot of issues that could have been handled if they maybe stuck him in a bay somewhere and just like shut him off to the rest of the world. But I think he was just able to constantly keep an idea of like, what can we do? And maybe that comes from like military training. Maybe
I was going to say, maybe it helps that they were military. Yeah,
like I think that helped a lot. Like if it was us, I'm dead. I'm sorry. I would have.
No, I'm right there with you, dude.
Like I think honestly, I'm not going to lie. Unless like there was another like a real captain there who told us we had to do it. The instant we got out of those pods and like one of you showed me that like that sound, I'm like, all right, we turning this shit back around.
Mm-hmm. Also, you go to the bridge. There's just like flesh piles like on like just the windows. No, we're turning around.
Like I wouldn't even announced. I would have just walked back. They'd be like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I'm not going back."
Let's review the gameplay footage, guys. A floating hand, mounds of flesh that are building up like sea moss in windows. A body popsicle with no eyes and an eviscerated face. Done. 100%, 110% done.
That's like the first 20 minutes they're on the ship, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's quite interesting that so early on, they figure out that something has to be like wrong in like a supernatural sense. Because like usually in those like this type of movie, especially nowadays, somebody would, especially like a scientist would try to attribute it to like, oh, we're just all like in mass hysteria. Like, or maybe there's some type of like particle or gasoline, something that's making us all hallucinate at the same time. And they were like, I saw that. Yeah. There's something happening here we need to get dealt with. But for some reason, we're going to stay here because the ship just got messed up. Yeah. And I feel like like the ship had to get messed up. In this one situation, like the script interfered to keep them there because it really felt like they all genuinely, if the ship did not get touched at all, they would have turned themselves right
they
back.
Were ready to leave. Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is one of those situations, which is great because it's like, like you were saying, if we'd seen that, that's us. We see that. It's. I'm going home. Like I don't know what happened. I don't think that whatever we're trying to recover here is going to be worth it at the end of the day. Like at all.
Just get a tow truck. Drag this back to
no, that can stay out. That can stay out there in space. As well. I'd be like, bring that thing. Like, bring ships with guns. Just blow it up.
Bring them back. Bring them. You know, it's interesting in this movie that there's, unless I missed it, never really like conversations about like heaven.
Because I don't think that I don't feel like until the very end that they truly think of it as like hell.
Because it's what the conversation between Captain Miller and then was it DJ?
DJ,
Yeah.
When he's like, "Oh, I translated this," which, sorry, real quick, it was one of those things I got kind of confused. Like, did no one else before they even left Earth was able to translate that?
Yeah,
Because they're like, I put it through all these filters, and then like there seemed to be still some confusion as to what this person's saying. And DJ's the only one who points out, like, "Oh, I think he's speaking Latin, and this is how I translate it."
Right.
And I'm like, okay, dude, like we started, and it's not to say I remember a lot of it, but we took Latin. Well, I guess you probably wouldn't have taken Latin because that's right, you got there in 9th grade.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is I'm pretty sure some smart people were probably in that room when they're running that recording through. Like no one there.
Or even like a Catholic, you know, like anyone, like yeah,
like, oh no, he's saying this.
2045.
Like, it took all the way until they got to Neptune.
That's true. Could be a dead language.
So I'm like, yeah, I mean that's fair, but like still, for DJ to be the only one to be able to translate that, and at the end of the day, honestly, it probably wouldn't have made any difference. They probably would have just translated it and been like, well, send you off.
I mean, even
the screams weren't
still,
enough.
like if the amount that they could hear, they might have also heard Libertate Me and not Libertate Tutu Me.
Well, I just mean like regardless of what they heard, of how they translated it, it's like the fact that it seemed like that was the first time that they heard any translation. Like it seemed
No, because then they say that like they could just hear a human voice.
Yeah.
Like wasn't that their first time being able to hear it like clear enough to hear Libertate?
Well, Sam Neill said that they had run it through all those filters.
Maybe the
before
filters
they got
sucked.
there. Like, so it seemed to me like it had already kind of.
Because
been,
I mean, admittedly, I still didn't hear it until like
he said
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I heard was.
I mean, I could definitely hear to where it did sound like it said Libertate.
It wasn't until he said Libertate. I was like, oh, I guess I can hear that now.
Right.
And it kind of like formed your mind.
Yeah.
Like, helped to shape it.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you guys, because just as we were going through it, it kind of popped into my brain. Was there a time where Dr. Weir's wife was shown with eyes, or was she always shown without eyes?
It seems like the first thing that comes to mind. Well, yeah, there was. Not only the pictures, but in the scene where he's hallucinating and he's sitting on the floor next to the
right
bathtub.
out of the pod. Oh, okay.
Well, in the hallucination itself, Weir is sitting next to the bathtub, and his wife is like
She's like
in the bathtub.
Her
eyes,
yeah, she had her
are
eyes.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then after she slits her wrist, and then you see her dead in the tub. You know,
No
I think
eyeballs.
that was really
Okay.
the only time I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
But what
So-
makes you ask?
Oh, I was just wondering if there was like a time where they were like trying to truly show us that the ship had kind of taken over Captain Weir, Dr. Weir. Because I feel like he was kind of always like, oh, like you were saying, he was like, oh, there's gas leak, like hallucinations or whatever, where everyone else was like, no, you're stupid. Like, I felt the fire. Like, chill out.
He definitely was like he was one of the like what you think is happening isn't happening.
Like, oh, it's perfectly safe.
Yeah, and I think that, and considering that he had that hallucination all the way back when he had that dream state before,
Yeah.
makes me think that that was already something that was in his head.
Okay.
That the entity just happened to really
Latch
pull
onto.
on,
Yeah.
That's fair.
and he just kind of eventually succumb. He did that to it, and I mean, like, I guess I do understand him. Actually, I think he gave up pretty early on, and we just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And because the thing just kind of like went into undercover mode, and it was just like, do what you
Yeah.
do what you do. And then finally it was like, all right, it's time to really get these people. I don't know why it wanted them all there.
Yeah.
You would think that it was like because if it, I guess, especially his plan was to go back. So like, wouldn't it have just needed one person to like set the drive off and go back? Like, why did it need to kill everybody and then go back?
Oh, maybe he's just trying to tally up the body count.
You just got to
Like,
go.
he gets a promotion or like a better.
Satan needs me to kill at least 5 more people before I can come back.
Got to bring this many people to the orgy.
Yeah. Hey man, we short like 6 people. Where can you find some? Well, just give me a second.
I know some Marines.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope one of them doesn't sacrifice himself with a bomb and stop you before you get to make it back here. And also pick up a bottle of gin while you're out. So I'm glad we got a chance to watch one of the movies that scars you as a child, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's, I know. It also was just a movie that I think it just like messed me up enough that I was like, okay, I like this movie. Which is like, because I was already like as a kid watching stuff like Child's Play and Friday the 13th and all that stuff. And it was like, you don't want to see that stuff, but you're like, oh. But with this movie, it was just like, this can happen. The hell can take people.
Yeah. Dimensions, portals, other dimensions,
in space. And it's like, and I think a big part of it is that I didn't, as a kid, I don't think I recalled seeing the very beginning of the movie, but seeing like the part where they were just being like normal space marine type people. And I was like, oh, this is okay. And then the crazy stuff started happening. I was like, what? This isn't. I'm thinking I'm getting a space adventure, and it turns out
you got a space adventure.
Be a horror
game.
Yeah,
you got one of those. Just maybe a little bit more than you'd bargained for.
It was a little bit too much for like 11, 12-year-old Damon.
But this version,
38-year-old Damon was like, whatever, man. This is crazy.
Having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Still eating your steak dinner.
I wish I had a steak dinner. I was just eating some noodles.
Hey, steak, noodles. What's tasty's tasty, man. I'm glad you had some tasty noodles.
I did.
So the question comes up. Unless you had any.
No. I asked my question.
Your thoughts. All right.
My final thoughts.
So we gotta ask, how many Panharmonicons does it get? How many Panharmonicons does it get? How many Panharmonicons does it get?
There was a little dance just to give
I can't wait
the
till
visual.
I'll be dancing. I'll do cartwheels.
I don't think there's space for that.
There's not.
But, you might get one.
It'd be cartwheel.
You might get a round off on.
I would say maybe a full rotation.
Maybe I'll just like turn my shoulders a little bit to make it look like,
a little shimmy.
Just get people like, hey, this is like 1/8 of a cartwell. Just tune in
a little
later.
tease.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, if you want to see
fake
the other
out.
7/8.
To answer the question of how many Panharmonicons am I going to give Event Horizon, I'm going to give it 3.5 Panharmonicons out of 5. It is I don't want to say it admittedly deserves its ratings or its budget, or not its budget, but its box office. I will instead say that I can completely understand why it did not do well in the box office, but I also understand why upon like home video and repeated viewings, it got the status that it got. Just simply because I don't like using terms like underrated or things like that. And what I will say is that this movie had more to offer than I think just an immediate viewing in a movie theater provides. But I also I think I would have enjoyed the movie theater experience because the movie really did try to use like sound to scare. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of loud sounds, like bam, bam, bam. Sorry if that was a jump scare. But that's exactly what the movie was trying to do. And I think I would have been like, okay, I get that. But it also does suffer just a little bit from a bit of a clumsy plot and characters who are not fully fleshed out, specifically, oddly enough, the survivors. I feel like everyone else is a lot more fleshed out than the two people that end up surviving.
Yeah.
So it's not a 4 for me, but it is a 3.5. I still enjoyed it even all these years after first viewing.
Yeah, I can go next. Honestly, I think I'd give it a 4 in my heart. I think it's 4.
Ooh.
I think it really, really just was that scene with Dr. Weir, which I guess now that we've discussed it a little bit, maybe he was just going off of pure sound and not ship telekinesis. But it just, like, shoot, I was like, what is this? Because it had a nice build up. I could feel like the tension in my body. Like I do like the slow burn there, especially for a horror movie. Because it really was just like, oh, who's going to die? Oh, you all three split off. Like, which one? Yeah, so I'd say, 4 out of 5. It wasn't that peak film, but I think it's still good.
Nice. I would also give it 3.5 Panharmonicons out of 5. I always think it's impressive when, especially like a horror movie, it's not to say that the movie terrified me. Mm-hmm. I mean, the concept of it, right? Like any concept where you see glimpses of hell and that kind of just like endless torture, I think as a concept is always terrifying. But the fact that it's a movie made in 1997, I do think that it holds up in its own right, which is really cool.
Yeah, the CGI was
the CGI was like what they did was with it was interesting. And then also you're talking about a time when it wasn't a shit ton of blue green screen sort of in large studios like this. Like those were actual sets, of course, save for, you know, Cooper flying through orbit and stuff like that. But it's cool to see and go back and watch movies from a different time when they had different approaches where things felt a little bit more like real, I guess, like tangible.
Yeah.
And yeah, I try not to let things like this affect me, but it's one of those movies where it is short, and there was things I wish we'd seen a little bit more of. Like I wish we'd seen a little bit more of like the crew that was on the Event Horizon, because to your point again, it was a large ship. Like my guess would have been that it had to have been more than like 8 people on there. Like what would have that experience have been like? And so it just kind of starts to rummage up some questions in my head, but even still, very entertaining movie. Very entertaining movie. Glad you suggested it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you for watching it, fellas. To your point, I didn't know what to call it in my notes. Scenery, I guess. The sets were very, very like well done.
Yeah.
And it made me really think to myself, because we don't see that too much anymore, right? Because you can just green, blue screen it up. People can do that stuff in just like a big lot. But it made me feel like it had to be really fun to be able to make sets back in the day.
Yes, I was like, I literally said out loud, I was like, "Ooh, that's a practical set." Like when you get the first, the Lewis and Clark like coming in, and they're like all that bouncing, and like he's in his captain's like egg chair where he's just like, I was like, that must be so comfortable. Like, dang.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I would. I do listen to Adam Savage from time to time. Like watch him like make things nowadays, and he talks about his time back when he was in Industrial Light and Magic, just making like the ships and stuff for Star Wars. And I think to myself, like, that had to be like just really cool and fun to be able to, like, for work, I make the stuff that you see in movies, and not just like I make the stuff that you see in movies nowadays. But thank you guys for watching it, and audience, thank you for listening. If you have watched Event Horizon, let us know what you thought about it in the comments, both YouTube and Spotify. And if you're on YouTube guys, give us a like if you like this. Give us a dislike if you didn't like it. Feel free to share this with your friends, with your family, and your maybe not family. And give us a subscribe if you enjoyed listening to this. And if you are subscribed, hit that little notification bell. It'll let you know when we're putting stuff out. We are putting out more stuff. We're going to be working on more stuff for you. We've been formulating and tabulating all kinds of content in our head that we just are going to eventually be putting out there for you. And for my Spotify peeps, give us a rating. I've said it before, 1s and 5s. If you want to do 2, 3, 4, whatever, but 1s and 5s. That's kind of the like and the dislike for Spotify, if you think about it.
Sure.
And drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about the movie. Thank you guys for listening again. This has been an episode of Panharmonicon Studios Presents
A podcast.
This has been Damon.
This is Farron.
And this is Andrew.
And we are signing out. Thank you guys for listening.
Hope to catch you in the next one.
Over and out. Space themed.
Vacate, I want off this ship.